So let's move on to previewing the next game. So round seven.
Yep.
Um, Obviously Anzac Day is this Thursday.
Yes.
And we are playing one of the two Anzac games, which we haven't had an Anzac game in a few seasons, I don't think.
Yeah, I reckon 2014, I'm going to
I think we had
say.
one a bit later than that because I remember there was a couple of years ago we had we had an Anzac Guernsey a couple of years ago, and I think you only get Anzac Guernseys if your team actually plays on Anzac Day, right?
No, I think for a couple of years everyone did one, or
Okay.
not everyone, but it was a choice. But so
Yeah.
the last one I can remember was we played St Kilda in Wellington
Oh, geez.
in New
Okay.
Zealand. So around about
Was that Anzac Day? I remember the game, but I don't
yeah,
remember. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so I was somewhere. I'm not going to say where I was because that will just open a can of worms. But I was
Yeah.
at a function with some people I know, and they had the footy on the Essendon and Collingwood game,
Yeah.
the traditional game. They had a barbecue for that or
Yes.
whatever, and um, yeah, and then afterwards they were sort of like, oh yeah, let's just crank the music and that. And I'm like, hey, hand up. And there's all these much bigger people than myself, and I was just like, hey guys, can we watch the other game?
Yeah.
And one of us around going, sorry, buddy, St Kilda. And I'm like, hey, yeah, but my team's playing them.
Yeah.
And I had to buy him a couple of beers to get him to put that game on TV. So that sticks in my memory. It's the last one I can remember.
Mm.
But yeah, maybe we had one or two after that.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I just get on my little soapbox as well for a second?
Go for it.
So you know how with Anzac Day, Collingwood and Essendon, they always play each other every year. It's a very famous game.
Yeah, yeah.
You know how the best on ground gets I think it's just called the Anzac Day medal, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah. One thing, so I don't mind that happens and everything like that, but what I do mind is when it's the winner of that medal, like that gets used as like a career achievement, and it's like, oh look, this is a reigning Anzac Day medalist, or like they compare it to like Norm Smith and
Yeah,
Coleman
yeah.
and Brownlow and all that sort of stuff, and it's like, well, it's the same two teams that play every year, so 16 teams are completely ineligible for their medal, complete like just by default, and
Yep.
then there's only about 40 something guys in the competition that are able to get the actual medal. So I don't know why that medal's held up so high as like, look how great this bloke is when he wins it. Just
Yeah. Look, I can kind of explain it a little bit, maybe, but I mean, well, we'll say one thing. It's the only thing Jack Ginnivan's ever won, other than being a passenger in a premiership team.
hmm. I
Um,
do know the history of why it's those two teams every year, so I'm
yeah,
not criticizing that, but it's the fact that that medal's held up so high when there's so many players that just not being on those two teams makes it impossible for you to win that. It has nothing to do with your skill level. It's just if you didn't get drafted by one of those teams, then you're never going to be eligible to win it. So why is that medal held up so high as like a career
yeah,
achievement? You know what I mean?
yeah. And look, I'm just going to say that it would be because of the connection to the Diggers and the Anzacs.
Hmm.
But look, there's other little bits and pieces. I mean, I went to the first Anzac Essendon Collingwood game that was a draw. And Craig Starcevich was still playing for Collingwood back then, and he
Yep.
had an absolute blinder of a game in the first half. I still remember that. But all my mates were Essendon supporters that day that I went with, and yeah, look, it's a massive occasion. But yeah, look,
Oh, definitely.
I agree with everything you say, but the game itself does have a bit of prestige, but there's been plenty of times when one or both of the teams have been way down the ladder as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, to extend to what you're saying, I mean, how many West Coast or Freo players put on their Wikipedia would put a chapter on their Wikipedia saying, "Oh, I won a Glendinning Allen medal and we got to pronounce this word right for them.
Yeah.
A derby. No, it's a derby over there. You numpties, learn the English language."
Yeah, they're a weird lot over there, your people.
They don't like me very much at the moment.